Talking Pro is all about getting to know the professionals that are our clients, partners, and employees. In today's episode, we have the City of Pharr's own IT Director, Jose Peña. Now, before we begin, please do me a favor. Tell your friends and family and colleagues to subscribe to Talking Pro. Your support and word of mouth will help in growing and bringing more awareness to these dedicated professionals. Thank you. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Peña, for being here with us today at Talking Pro. If you all don't know, Jose Peña is the IT Director for the City of Pharr. How long have you been with the city now?
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Norma. Again, it's been great. Few years with the City of Pharr. I've been 4.5 years now going on, and it's amazing what changes we've been able to implement and are working on, and the ones coming down the road. It's just an amazing experience that I've had there.
That's great. So tell me, what first interested you in delving into the world of IT?
Great question. So, again, I graduated high school in 99. I remember my friends and I, we attended UTPA, now UTRGV, and we're kind of unaware of what career to take. And my best friend was, hey, you should kind of look at this career field in computers. And sure enough, we looked into it, took a class, and I enjoyed it. In programming, and took another class, and I enjoyed it and did very well. And I was like, I think this is the path for me. And again, I had an amazing classes and professors and everybody at UTPA to get my degree in computer information systems. And it really kind of helped, learning computer systems, how they work in a business environment. And it really was something that I enjoyed doing.
Now, could you have forecasted back then, going into college in 99, what the impact of technology would have in today's society?
Yeah. Now, again, I remember back then we obviously internet was through a modem, through a phone line. And again, prior to that, obviously, everybody out there who's a little more experienced, how I like to call it, obviously had tougher times, and it was, the change was just about coming, from a phone line, dial-up to then DSL being available, and how it's been emerging and changing, which is something I really enjoy in technology, that it's evolving, it keeps improving, getting better, and that's part of, coming to work and learning new things every day, and how do we implement solutions to keep our services more relevant and more provide better experiences for everybody. So.
Exactly. And how quickly technology continues to evolve, and how we as IT professionals need to adapt to those changes. What do you feel is the most challenging part of the ever-evolving technology advances that you experience in your life or in the city?
It's really just having an open mind, learning new things, being adaptable, pursuing training opportunities. That was one thing. My first employer, they always valued training and keep growing and learning new skills. And that's one of those things that I'll always mention to even people I run into going to school. I was like, hey, if you're pursuing a degree in any degree, right? Just you should go and get a part-time job in that profession.
Right. Learn,
get groundwork experience. For myself, again, being in, looking at an IT field, and I went and worked with TRW, working their help desk for 12 hours a day, Saturday and Sundays. I worked 2 days a week, and I went to school 5 days a week, and it was something that got me my first job, that helped me, that I already had IT experience in a production environment, and that's the one thing I always like to tell everybody. You're going to school, try get a job in your field so you can kind of get familiar if that's the type of work you want to continue doing, and just because again. Getting a career in IT, there's so many specialties, Sometimes people assume you know how to do networking or how to program or do a website, but there's so many specialties nowadays. Cybersecurity is really big now. It's its own career field, and it's taking off, and it's one of those things that it's great to kind of specialize in these fields, and education is always really important to be able to adapt and keep becoming better.
Exactly. And I think you keyed in on something that's really top of mind for a lot of people in our community, people in our lines of business, cybersecurity. The threats are real, the vulnerabilities are there. It's important now that, the city of Pharr is providing internet services to the people in our communities, that they are aware of the cybersecurity threats that can impact their lives. How are you all making sure that the community has that level of awareness?
Right, and that's a great question. One of those things, and again, we're talking about the City of Pharr, our Teamfar.net project was, we're not really just putting a technology out there. We need to have the internal resources to make sure we implement and we know how to manage these more service provider grade solutions. So we had to expand our staff. Now we have a couple dedicated cybersecurity professionals on our team, where before it was another duty for somebody else, but now being able to get permanent dedicated staff, being able to implement the latest and greatest in firewalls and DDoS appliances and cybersecurity products. It's an ever-evolving thing that we got to keep staying on top of, because again, nobody wants to be in the news, and it's a horrible experience, if you are affected, that, we want to be able to, again, secure, protect our data, make sure that our systems are not compromised. And again, there's a lot of products that come into play, and that's great when, we can partner with like Tele-Pro as an example, and our other partners that work with us through Tele-Pro and our project partners, because again, there's lots of different solutions out there, and we need to be able to learn and provide and support all these technologies.
Right. And part of the solution is making sure that you have the proper applications, programs, systems in place to help prevent cyber threats, but at the same time, the contingency plan, right? When you are compromised, always knowing what the next steps are. I know you guys are very well prepared in that as well.
Right. And that's something that, every group or every organization should have, right? What's your disaster recovery plan? What measures do you take in place? How do you operate going forward? One of the things, and again, for the city of Pharr, our backups are every hour, so all our critical systems, every single hour get a backup system, a backup to them. We work with hyperconverged servers, and all fully virtualized. And again, that's one of those things we take very seriously. And again, we have products in place at the PC level. We have products in place at the network level, and we have appliances in place as well. And it's a multi-approach. And, a lot of the times it's not really technology. The human factor plays into it. And that's something that we now, through a House bill by the state a couple years ago, we're mandated to train all our staff who have access to computer systems on cybersecurity awareness. So that's one of presentations that our staff does at every new hire orientation. We train them on cybersecurity through the state-approved solutions. We then test them and record that for our records. And then the city actually does an annual citywide training called Pharr University. It's actually later this month for all our employees, and then we have a slot there to present to all our staff, because again, we do have to report to the state every summer how many employees we trained, and that we trained every single individual, which again, the human factor is always the most important one that we need to educate.
Exactly. No, that's really important, is educating, every employee, making sure that, everyone is aware of how easily, the systems can be compromised with, human error. So, but I appreciate you sharing all of that. Now, I have a question for you. I know you've had experience working with Mcallen and Weslaco. How do you feel those experiences have helped you catapult your success as an IT director for City of Pharr?
Everything's been relevant. I mean, it's been one of those things where growth happens in every individual. Like I mentioned, getting training and educating yourself and learning more. And I was able to have really good and great mentors and a support group of staff who I worked with, and I still, talk to and work with and follow up with. Again, working in Mcallen was great, being in a large environment, public sector. So my professional career has always been in public sector. I actually got the job in Mcallen a month after I graduated from UTPA, which was excellent. But that's where I mentioned having experience, having worked 2 years at TRW was really helpful, right? When I was ready to jump to a full-time job. And, from there, I transitioned over to Weslaco, where I was able to become a director and now have a little more understanding and learn how the networking worked. Because again, my experience in Mcallen was software developing and working on projects. From there I learned budgeting and the budget process on an annual and working with vendors. But then, moving over to Weslaco, again, great mentors there, and that helped me grow and taught me, and having a great team also, right? Our coworkers, we're a group in this together. I'm not in it for myself, everybody, we work together, and that's how we accomplish everything as a team. And then, the Pharr opportunity came along, and, that was something that was very exciting for me, being able to now go into a larger organization, more resources as far as staff and funding. And it's one of those things I've learned that, here in the city of Pharr, IT is very valued. And that's what I like, being able to, I'm not just here to keep the lights on, I'm a value-added resource. What else can I help improve in the organization? What manual processes can we automate? How do we make things better, faster, simpler? So I like to solve these process and, make them more efficient. And, that's one of those things that with the city of Pharr now, this last year, we created the city created the Office of Organizational and Strategic Excellence. So it's a department dedicated to work with every department to improve efficiencies, and it's been great. The support we have there, and being able to work with our teams and work well with everybody. But it's really been amazing.
Wow. And you speak of support, and I know that your colleagues just have nothing but the best things to say about you. But you also have an amazing family that supports you as well. Very understanding wife that just adores you, knowing that you're being the rock star that you are with the city of Pharr, going to different, cities and states, talking about the successes with, the broadband solutions that you guys are providing as a service provider for the city. What does your wife have to say about all of this? The accolades, you've gotten awards from the city, from Tag ITM. I mean, what does she have to say about all this?
No, I mean, that's one thing that I value a lot, right? And the city of Pharr always reminds us, hey, you got to have a work-life balance. Your family always is there for you, to support you. And at the end of the day, we want all our employees to come to work and enjoy coming to work, because they need to, when you're with your family, you want to have a great time and not take work problems or things like that home. Right. But again, I have a wonderful support system. My wife is amazing, and we have 3 kids, varying in ages. So our oldest is 13, then my next one is 9, and then our youngest is 3. So At least now they're all in school, so it's
Right.
a little easier. But
All boys.
all boys too. So again, every Monday and Wednesday night, it's one of those things where I'm with them at basketball practice. And yeah, me and my wife work very well together. She has her own business and works a little later every day. So I watch the kids. She works Saturdays, and I watch the kids, and we like to have fun and do stuff together and be outdoors and just do activities with them. So it's amazing.
That's awesome. No, it's great that, you have that support. I know the mayor is also very much a family man, and I see that he brings that value and instills that support to make sure that work-life balance is inevitable and not inevitable, but necessarily a necessary means to make sure that, every employee is feeling valued and can sustain the work-life balance to make sure everyone has success at the end of the day. So tell me, what does Teamfar mean to you?
Great question. So Teamfar is a concept that was put together about 3 years now ago, where the city embarked on a journey, with the Quality Texas Foundation in trying to improve processes, become more efficient, make better decisions in how we operate. So it follows a lot of the Baldrige federal standards, which then are partnered with the NIST standards on the IT, which they work as well. So it was a project that, I was asked to be a member of and go through trainings and go through all their formal trainings. And it's really great how you understand and see why certain things you do. And it was stuff we always did that kind of was natural to a lot of us there in the organization. We just, we've never really talked about it or described them or put them to paper and documented a lot of our stuff. And that's where, again, this new change about our new department to find more efficiencies and to work with everybody. We're actually working on hopefully launching a new strategic plan for the city here very soon that the department with our administration worked on. And we'll also be working on performance dashboards and KPIs for every department citywide through this new analysis, going through it. But it's been an amazing journey, the Quality Texas Foundation. We've had we started with in-person trainings, but then COVID happened, right? So a lot of our trainings have now shifted to virtual, but, we continue to learn. And the same things, like we mentioned, it's really understand why you do things. We create PDSA cycles, the Plan, Do, Study, Act cycles on process improvements. We turn into our new OSC department on a quarterly basis, new PDSA cycles that we're required to provide on, hey, what is a task or a process you want to work on and identify, document, and describe it and improve on it and find efficiencies. But it's been great. It's again, everybody's on the same team. We're all looking the same direction. And it's great. We all can work off each other, and it's really, we've seen a really big improvement on that.
Wow. And I know that your team has grown. So originally, when you came on board, you had how many team members?
When I started back in 2018, I believe we were maybe 11 employees, 12 employees at most. So through our fiscal year fund request and budget processes in these last, I was always out trying or able to get at least one or two positions, growing our team. But now with our Teamfar.net service, we had to create a brand new division in how I structured our department to be able to support our customers.
Right.
The customer always comes first. We have our goals of what we expect of how quick, phone metrics, where they have to be, things like that. But, we're going to grow, and we're funded for up to 44 positions in our department.
Yeah.
Again, about 20 of those are in our customer service division. Our other division is our networking and support, which we were able to grow as well with network and fiber administrators and specialists and analysts. And our third division is our system and security division, which is, the staff that works on all the systems and the cybersecurity and our web developers and all the staff, even with physical security.
Right.
It's really across the board, and it's made us be able to offer more specialized training to our employees, which they value. That now they can get better formalized training and be able to specialize more in what they like to do, right? What is the field that fit better for them, and for them to specialize in it and not have to be one general employee and you're doing 10 different things, right?
Right.
Because going back to all the specialties in IT, there's so many that, we need to be able to focus and improve on all of them.
Right. Yeah. Because like you said, technology is very specialized, just like in medicine. Medicine is very specialized. You're either a heart surgeon or you're a brain surgeon or you're, same thing with technology.
Exactly.
You have to focus on that one area of your expertise to make sure that you fully understand, where that technology is evolving to, what the current trends are, and so forth. So that's fascinating. I mean, the growth from 11 to 45, my gosh. And how are you keeping up with all of that? So many. To find the talent, to find the right talent.
Right. That's one of our things, it's we have to find the right staff. It's been one of those things where we've been able to promote quite a few of our employees from within, where we knew they're always great employees and be able to improve their and wanting to learn more. But again, quite a few new employees have started with us, and it's been great trying to go through the interview process. It's one of those things where employees are slowly trickling in. It's not like before. Things have changed now with after COVID.
Right.
Not the same available resources out there, because now this opened up where anyone can work for anyone in the world from your home, right?
Yeah.
The whole remote work is, and it's something that I've talked to other peers, and I mean, everybody kind of goes through the same dilemma where, where the first thing they ask you, do you offer remote work? And, because everybody's losing employees to a lot of remote working opportunities. But again, we are very selective. We go through a really good interview process, and we get to learn the candidate and learn how they work in different situations. And we talk about experiences that they've had and how things that might have that they've experienced that really improve, and we understand how they handle scenarios. But we've brought a really good pool of new hires on board, and it's great. Now my problem is trying to find more space, right? Space for them,
Right.
physically,
You've
right?
already outgrown.
We've maxed out our facility now,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at other city buildings, hopefully, and some of our staff is going to be working remotely as well. But it's one of those things that now it's a good problem to have.
It is.
Right? So,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a great problem to have. I mean, knowing that the need is there, knowing that you are now, a service provider for your community, and also the other surrounding cities, right? In Alamo and San Juan, you're also providing those services.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet,
but it's to
but
come.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon, exactly. Why do you think it's important for the citizens of Pharr to have reliable and affordable access to the internet?
That's always been our big problem, right?
Valley-wide.
Valley-wide. I
Yeah.
mean, the study that came out a few years ago had Pharr as number one. Bronzeville and Harlingen were up there with us in the top 5 or top 10, I believe.
Least connected cities,
Least connected cities in the country, where, the private industry is not there and continuing to expand their networks, where our population continues to grow, right? Our towns are all growing, and the service is just not there. For the city of Pharr, the southern portion of our city had none to any reliable internet available. So
And during a pandemic,
exactly,
what do you do, right?
exactly. Students had to take classes from home. Some employees had to go home and work from home, and people rely on hotspots. And again, in a multi-family or multi-person family, it's a little difficult working with hotspots. Plus, the coverage in your areas as well. But that was one thing that again, our mayor, since when they started the pilot project, trying to identify, and something the city of Pharr had wanted to solve since 4 years ago.
Right.
So, which is why we're so far ahead of other agencies, and because we already had a feasibility study, we already knew the connectivity wasn't there,
Right.
and where it was, our residents, it was not affordable. People prioritize their monthly expenses, and connectivity was not something that when it's $60, $70, $80 or more on a monthly basis, you weigh your options, and affordability wasn't there. So again, our mayor and city commission, we had us put out a survey. They considered and evaluated different pricing models, and I think they came up with a really good standards.
Yep.
That we looked at the other providers as well, their price points, and we really wanted to be able to provide the best service available at the most affordable price.
Right.
So, I don't think you can beat 500 megs up and down for $25.
Not at all.
And gigabit for $50.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is fiber in your home with a mobile application for you to manage all your home devices and your home network, with security controls built into the product and into your application, where you manage the device, as well as parental controls for you to control the screen time on your kids, which is something, again, I personally, experience with my kids, where it's bedtime, you turn off the internet, things like that, but
and
it's
the world
one of
ends.
those, yeah, right.
The world ends.
And it's one of those things that we are offering at no cost to all our customers, and
Right.
and those are things that we really wanted to emphasize, to provide not just the service, but provide all these additional features at no cost to the community, to be able to really get a really good bang for the buck.
It's
Right.
just such an amazing story that you all share with everybody. I know that you spoke about this at TAG ITM, and you spoke at the broadband convention as well. What other conventions have you gone to speak about this project? I know that you've been on tour.
We've had several presentations here locally, and again, the most recent one was our Teamfar.net presentation at TAG ITM, which is again the Texas Association of IT Managers, of Government IT Managers. Association. That's wonderful. That's the one conference I enjoy going to every single year, because it's really an IT conference for everybody in our same industry and public sector.
Right.
And it's great to meet and see what all the different cities and counties are doing out there and following up. But actually, our next one is, we're going to Nashville, so we're going to be presenting and have a panel at the Fiber Connect, which is FBA's annual conference, and that's really a really amazing conference. That it's a national conference, and we'll be up there on a panel, kind of talking and showcasing the Pharr story,
Right.
On where we started and where we are, and what we're doing, and through all our great partnerships that we have through our professional service providers, through our suppliers, through our engineers, that we've been able to come and deliver this project. And hopefully soon we'll be, attending a few others. But it's just been great being able to see your work and showcasing it, and everybody has a lot of questions.
Oh, yes.
Everybody's trying to see what they can do in their own cities.
Right.
And there's lots of options, right? But it just depends on, again, if they're public sector and what their elected officials want to do. But it's one of those things that, we do have our support, and we wanted to do the full service,
Right.
being able to offer it inside the home, reliable service, being able to provide that connectivity so that, you no longer are having to share or distribute multiple hotspots at every house. And it's just amazing.
It is amazing. And you had a full house. I mean, I was there. We were there, and I mean, there were a lot of really great questions. And I mean, you really laid down the path to how you all got to where you're at today, which meant planning and making sure that, like you said, you had all the studies providing you the longitudinal studies showcasing the need in our area to get connectivity to the citizens in Pharr. And hopefully, other cities will fall in line, applying for those grants, making sure that, you have the support from the banks, from, different agencies that want to see the community have the success and continue to flourish in enabling our citizens to have the possibilities of what we don't have today, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Where do you see the city of Pharr in the next 10 years? Yikes, 10 years.
Wow.
It's a huge leap.
It's one of those things where, again, we're laying the infrastructure.
Right.
So with broadband, with fiber, we are laying lots of fiber all throughout the city. It's one of those things where there's lots of different opportunities. There's lots of different smart city initiatives and projects that we'll hopefully be pursuing. There's lots of additional home services that we could provide as well. Mm-hmm. But, we're really laying the foundation. I mean, you could do street level cameras with license plate readers where for law enforcement for vehicles that are stolen or that can be detectable,
right?
And send alerts and notifications when certain vehicles are in your town. There's smart meters. If, we can be real time, be monitoring your water consumption and be able to notify the customer as soon as, hey, you're consuming water, but you might have a leak inside, and sometimes we don't notice until we get our next month's statement, and you see it double where you didn't notice, or a kid didn't tell you that we had a toilet running water, and things like that. But there's lots of different objectives. There's nowadays on the security side also there's gunshot detection systems where be more proactive on the law enforcement side, where as opposed to waiting to 911 calls to come in, where you get that immediate notification that something just happened somewhere, but being able to deliver additional smart city services would be really great.
And keeping the citizens safe and aware, and you all, your team to be able to be responsive and in a timely fashion, At the end of the day, I think that's what's best. In the world of technology, who do you look up to?
I follow a lot of people.
Yeah.
I like I said, it's continuous learning, continuous reading. And, I like to read up and follow on Simon Sinek, everybody kind of follows, Elon Musk with the amazing things he's doing here and now locally in Brownsville, and Jeff Bezos. And there's a lot of people out there that you kind of hear their stories and learn from them. And, they make decisions, by, having facts and experiences and understanding of things on how to improve. But, it's just different people that, I'd like to follow. And plus, we also rely on our experts with our vendors. We always look at conferences for all the new technology coming out as well to learn from there. And, it's just a full suite of options out there available to anyone. Now, YouTube is great, right? Before it was you could Google something, but now, it's easier. You just YouTube it, right? And actually see it in action, not just read about something. But we have amazing opportunities now that were not readily available 20 years ago, and it's so much easier now to learn and continue improving.
Exactly. I mean, with, again, the connectivity, having, the world at the tip of your finger, because our phones are basically computers that walk around with us
Exactly.
every day. Not like when we were in
Exactly.
school. Well,
Exactly.
you're younger than me, but let's just not talk about that. But, it's a different world, and we have access to so much information at our disposal, and it's important that we do keep on top of that and follow the right people, like Simon, you mentioned, so inspiring. What do you feel is the best thing about being an IT director?
I think just working with the staff.
Yeah.
You got to have, you really, when you're given a project or when you're assessing if you can take on additional project, it's knowing your staff and knowing, do we have the resources and the capacity and the capability to do something and to be able to deliver, because nobody wants to take on something to fail, right?
Right.
You want to be able to schedule resources accordingly and work with our, I meet every week with our managers from our different divisions to kind of follow up on projects and see how things are progressing. We in Pharr have been lucky to also expand city facilities, and we have to work with different vendors with different solutions, and it's one of those things where we rely on our people, right? We rely on our employees to be able to understand, is it something we can feasibly do, and if so, how soon could we deliver it, what other tasks are pending, and to be able to turn that around and be able to deliver in a timely and successful fashion is really important, and that's one of those things where, our employees are really who make it happen.
Right. And I'm talking about facilities. Y'all had the state of the city event at the nanatorium. And I mean, talk about a world-class, amazing facility. Have you actually gone in yet to swim?
Not to swim yet.
Not to swim yet.
Not to swim yet, but and that's an amazing facility.
Yes.
Our department, we work with the contractors, with our architect on, having to do a secure facility for access control,
Right.
having to install surveillance cameras wherever needed, having to deliver Wi-Fi where everybody wants it, right?
Right.
Everybody, if you're going to be in there and live streaming or FaceTiming to another family member when you have a student or a family member competing, we all know those are things everybody wants to do. So, we have to deliver Wi-Fi, phone and data services there as well.
Right.
And again, it was an amazing project to work on. Our next facility that we're about to open, hopefully in a month or so, is a facility on Olana, our community center. Another wonderful facility where we have a French park, really nice park in the front of the property. And then we have an amphitheater in the back of the property, but inside the building's 150 person room lecture hall.
Wow.
With a stage. We have a 220-inch LED display for presenters with surround sound in that room, and it's going to be amazing to showcase and have the community use it for presentations, for trainings, for anything that, for classrooms to be held there. It's really going to be an amazing experience there that they're going to really be excited with what they're going to see. We also have a boardroom in that facility. We'll also extend our digital services from our library and our computer lab that we're going to have in there, so people can be able to go in there and use our computers on a daily basis like they do at our other two facilities, but now being able to provide that in the north part of town. But again, it's another amazing project, that we're able to help out and deliver on technology and the latest technology to make it a great experience.
Right. I mean, in every facility that opens up, technology is at the forefront to making sure that the success happens, right? I
Yes.
mean, like you said, access control, video surveillance, making sure that, the connectivity for Wi-Fi is accessible to everybody in the facility.
Yeah.
Collaboration, your phone system, it's all relative to IT.
Yep, yep. And again, we
Wow.
want to showcase that wow factor, which, believe me, people, when they walk in that room, they will get that wow factor from what we're going to be able to provide. Also, capabilities for live streaming any presentation in there. Again, that room is fully ready for live streaming, for presentations to be used by the community, and for trainings as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really looking forward to opening that new facility.
Great. That's exciting. Let me ask you a question. What do you feel is the biggest misconception about IT that people tend to have?
I think it's and I'm sure everybody can know where I'm coming from, right? We all have family members, and that's where you see it. Even my sisters, I'm the youngest of four, and they're like, "Hey, I can't print," and
it's always about the printer.
Yeah,
it's
those printers, can't print, or I'm having trouble with my internet, and it's one of those things where, we do know about all those things, but we don't all specialize. And again, like I mentioned, IT is very specialized. There's lots of different things that that we can do in IT, and sometimes or I'm sure, like I mentioned, any IT person will tell you, "Oh yeah, your family members, you're the IT person, right?
You're the
so
IT
you got to
person.
fix every problem
Exactly.
in the home." And
I know the first question is it plugged in?
Yes, yeah. Is it plugged in, and
Right.
have you restarted?
Right. Did you reboot?
Did you reboot? But yeah, that's the first thing I bring up. But it's really that people think we just know it all.
Right,
but,
right.
It's hard. It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff, and it's and everything is different, right? From if you're talking about printers, is it an HP? Is it
Yeah.
But
Is it wireless or is it hardwired?
Right. It's like
But yeah, it's fun sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. Do you think your children have an interest in pursuing a career in IT?
We're not. I'm not pushing them that way. I let them be kids, and our oldest is just about to go into early college, high school at Vanguard Academy.
Wonderful.
So trying to see what courses he gets to take to get college credit, which is amazing opportunities that now our students have that were not available. I think when I was going to school, I was just starting out.
Right.
I got to take a couple classes that I really was excited. I didn't have to take them in college because I took them in high school.
Yep.
But we let them pursue their own things, and we kind of you get to know your kids and see what their specialties are. But yeah, they all love tech.
Do they get what you do though? Do they understand? Because my kids don't get what I do.
Yeah, I mean, they see everything is so easy for them. Everything's on their phone.
Right.
Or on their Alexa device. You just ask them a question and you get an answer immediately. Right. But it's one of those things where trying to push them towards something that they enjoy doing. Like, hey, if someone's really good with numbers, you try to give them from our experiences of, these are the different type of careers you can pursue, or with science, which is, again, another great career, and technology. But, I'm still not there yet.
Right.
But, at least I can help.
It's evolving because the jobs of tomorrow have not been created today yet. It's going there. They will come to fruition, but in time, is it going to be, something with, either in medicine or technology, and really the sky's the limit. And I think that's what's the most exciting thing at this point, But I bet they look up to you, and they see all the amazing things that are happening in the city, and that's just awesome. So tell me, what comes to mind when you think of Tele-Pro?
A turnkey provider.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with and known Tele-Pro for some time now. You know, the Tele-Pro is our go-to for structured cabling, you know, when new facilities come on board. And, you know, now we're looking at audio systems as well. And you know, it's really one of those things that now, again, through learning, now there's professional services, you know, available as well. You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, we need to rely on quality services, on who's the vendors who you can rely on, who you can trust to get the job done. You know, our staff is very familiar with them, and they know that when they do a Pharr job, it's getting done a specific way, which is the only way our network team, you know, wants it. And because, again, it's stuff that we support later on, you know, after the project's delivered. But it's one of those things where, you know, it's a trusted partner in our portfolio of vendors who we work with.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time, Mr. Peña. I really do appreciate it, and for opening up and sharing a little bit about everything that's happening with the city of Pharr, and of course, sharing some insights into your personal life. Mr. Peña, thank you so much for coming in and allowing me to host you with our Talking Pro session. I really do appreciate your time and all of the information that you've shared, and hopefully, you know, people in the community of Pharr can see the value that the services that you all will be providing will be of value to everyone in the community. So thank you. Appreciate your time.
And thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to kind of share a little bit of myself and obviously what the service is and what we're trying to do with the city of Pharr, and just to help us showcase and tell our story.
Right.
So again, appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So please visit teamfar.net. On our website, we have our registration forms. We have information regarding the services and offerings that we have for our community. Feel free to give us a call. Our number is 956-402-2000, and we'll have staff provide you answers to any of your questions. We are just about to start home installations, and hopefully here within the next couple weeks, and look forward to delivering services to all our community.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share or review the podcast on your preferred app and tell us how we're doing. Thank you for stopping by and listening to Talking Pro with yours truly, Norma Barrera, Account Executive at Tele-Pro Communications.